It is time for soul food. Come on in, come on in. It's Friday night at 8.
Yes.
Come on in. Hello. Hey, Dennis Wise. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey,
I'm
everybody.
about to share the video again. Hey, I'm going to share it to Amisha, Rashida. Hey, guys. I don't know who Terrence Lester is, but you're getting our share from Danny's page. Hello, good evening. It's time for soul food. Hey, hey, hey. Danny, I hope you ain't got nobody in your Instagram, because I am just running through your list. Just so you know. People are like, oh, I thought you wanted to holler. No, I didn't say that. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, everybody. It's time for soul food. Good evening. It's 8 o'clock. Where you at? Where y'all at? Hello, if you are on Facebook or Instagram, can you tell me what city and state you're from? Hey, Wilson Financial, good to see you. If you're on, if you're on, let me at least get them set up, okay? If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, can you tell us a quick comment? Let me check my sound with you guys, make sure we've got good sound. Also want to know what city and state you're from. Hey, hey. Hello, 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 hello. Good evening. Let's get into it.
We're not doing that. I'm blessed. Yes.
Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. Yes, ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed. Yes, we blessed. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed.
Hey guys, good evening. It's time for soul food. It's time to cook. It's time to talk. Hello, Mama Jean. Hey, Cuddles Pink. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Testing on Facebook. Testing on YouTube. Good evening. It's 8 o'clock. Time for some food and some conversation. Welcome to my kitchen. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Pastor Talima Durham. This is Jewel. That's Stefan. That's Danny. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's time to talk and it's time to eat. Hello, somebody. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Hey, hey. Can you heart it up for me? Can we do some tests here, please? Heart it up if you can.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Hey, everyone. Hey, 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 hey. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm typing for Danny. If you see Danny Pearl 1 on Instagram, that's me. I'm typing on her behalf. Because my camera is being used to broadcast. But listen, you should also find me on Facebook. You should find me on YouTube because you get camera shots of the stove. You can also get some other angles, and I can still see your chat. So I do recommend Facebook for better angles because the close-ups, you can probably hear better on Facebook too. And on YouTube, Pastor TSD and Pastor TS Durham on both. Hey everybody, hey, hey, I'm checking my chats on Facebook. Good to see you, good evening, good evening. Okay, so what are we cooking tonight?
Okay.
Did you guys go shopping? Are you ready to start cooking this evening? We're making beef and broccoli noodles.
Oh.
Beef and broccoli noodles. Beef and broccoli.
It's about to go down. It is about to go down.
Hey, it's about to go down today. Hey, Instagram, we lost Instagram. I'm gonna check on Instagram, be right back. All right.
It's the start for me.
Instagram, we're back. We're back, Instagram. And they kicked us off, man. They kicked us off, man. Come back on. If not, go to Facebook. Pastor TS 50 or Taliba Durham. Facebook has better angles. All right. Hey. Good evening. Anybody on Facebook? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
It's the lack of the dance moves. No, it's not the naked shoulders.
All right.
You dance like she went to a private school.
You did go. You can tell that's how she danced. Hey, cuz, what's up, JDC? What's going on, cuz? Hey, Jamal Smith, good to see you. Hey, let's get into it. Come on in. It's time to cook. It's time to eat. Can you guys share this, please? If you're on Instagram, will you share it, please? Thank you so much. Come on, it's time to eat. Hey, Truly Grateful. Hey. I like how you spelled your hand, though. That's nice.
This is what you're doing. I'm doing my arms, Pastor. I'm doing my arms.
I know that you do my arms. But
E-Man, I don't know what she's doing.
excuse her, she doesn't know. Okay, so good evening. Welcome to Soul Food. Please, if you are on live right now, could you please share this so that more of your family and friends can join us for dinner?
Yes.
My name is Pastor Taliba Durham. This is Jewel, Stefan, and Danny. They are my house guests, my kitchen guests for today.
Yes.
I am a firm believer that some of the best memories about Christ and some of the best conversations we've ever had in life happens around the kitchen table.
So true. Yes.
So today's format is a little different. We decided that we're just going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, because typically when my church members come to my house for dinner, we can talk about everything and anything.
Yes.
And it is pretty much no holds bar as it relates to conversation. Our devotional concept was limiting the freestyle conversation that I really intended for us to have. So now we get to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And that's pretty amazing. So you get to chime in different topics, different conversation points that you want to talk about. If you don't want to do it today, you can put it in the comment section and we'll pick it up one of these weeks. And you never know, one of your topics might be a hot topic for us. So we're changing the format a little bit today, where we're just going to talk about whatever's happening this week. And so I can't wait to hear what's going on in their lives this week. If you want to comment about what's going on in your life for prayer, or if you want to comment just because you want us to talk about it, do so. Tell us what's going on, because in a minute I'm going to ask these guys how was their week, and I want to hear all about it, and I want to hear all about your week as well. Tonight we're cooking beef and broccoli with noodles, but I don't eat beef, so I've substituted the beef with lamb.
Come on!
And it was a great sale on lamb today,
Yes.
okay? So I was able to get to the Whole Foods and get some lamb on sale. And I've already sliced that bad boy up, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I had to ask my dad. Okay, I had to ask my dad. Now, you guys know I am not a chef. I am the daughter of a chef, Minister Hudson. That's my daddy. Hey, Daddy. I had to ask my dad the best way to slice the lamb, because I know how you cut meat, from what my dad has taught me, determines whether it's going to be tough or not.
Okay.
So I wanted it to be moist and succulent. So I had to message my daddy to figure out how to phone a dad. But I've already marinated this meat since this morning in some lovely sauces. So we marinated it in some tamari sauce or soy sauce, also some sherry wine, some vinegar, some rice vinegar, and I've added some Szechuan peppers and chili paste, salt and pepper to taste, and it's all mixed in there. So that's the meat already marinated, pre-sliced. I've got about 2 pounds. The recipe calls for a pound, but we tend to eat a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know who eats, but we tend to eat a lot.
This is true.
So I sliced that up, already marinated it this morning, so it should be good to go. We're gonna sear this in some peanut oil, which is already on the stove. I haven't cut the wok on yet because that heats up pretty quick, but I will in a second. We're also got some broccoli. We're gonna chop these up and to get some broccoli florets out of this, some chives, garlic, I've got some chives here, but I didn't like how the chives look. They look a little skimpy. So I might do a little green onion, maybe some shallots, just to give that earthy flavor. And I've added mushrooms, gourmet mushrooms, to our list, as well as bamboo shoots, because I love bamboo shoots. It is the crunch for me that I love. Some people don't like it, but I do. So that's what we're doing. So you'll see me prepare these things. And today, I am preparing my first dessert live.
Wait a minute.
I know. I've had a rough week. And when I have a rough week, I like to decompress by cooking and baking. My mother and my grandmother was an excellent baker. And so my dad is a wonderful chef. So being in the kitchen helps to relax me. So I've had a very rough week, so I doubled down. And so for dessert, I made homemade cookies. So they're chocolate cookies stuffed with Nutella.
Come on, wait a minute.
I know. So I've already prepped the cookie dough, and I'll tell you about that toward the end when this gets a little bit more done. And then I'll show you how we stuff the cookies with yummy, gooey Nutella fudge in the middle of it. So I'm excited. Hopefully it all come out good. So as I get prepared, I want to know what happened in your week. How was your week? How was your day? How was your day at work? How was your work week? How was your life week? Everything. Hit me.
Pastor, I mean, work is good. Work is as usual. And it's sad to say, as usual is, I think we all can maybe identify that there are, bits of racism still in the world,
Oh, yeah.
And,
yeah, man. For sure.
Covert racism and blatant racism, where, certain people get promotions faster than the next person right in front of their face. And, other stuff, slick stuff. And, it made me think, Pastor, like, people just not even are trying to be racist. They're just not for you. And one thing it did make me appreciate is those people that are for me, because whether you like it or not, I experienced to where I'm trying to, I'm in a new position, and I'm doing the best that I can to, prepare for the things that are being asked of me.
Right.
Sometimes people ask for something that they have not even laid the groundwork or even privy me to, and I have to reckon with myself that nobody's gonna give me nothing. I have to get every little bit of this new company that I'm in. So what I do for work, for people out there listening, is loss control. Okay. So having to deal with workers' comp and stuff like that, you need to know the systems that you're working with, where to go get information and stuff like that. It's kind of frustrating when you see other people get help, because somebody is for them and you're not getting help.
What kind of help do you need?
Is
it work specific? Is it like?
It's a common courtesy. Like, hey, this is a program that we use for this. You should go ahead and get signed up for this program, or get your password for this program.
So ways to make your job better, or to be better at your job.
Much more smoother in a sense. Instead of me having to find out the hard way. Oh, there's a program that we use, that we store all this stuff in. Right. You would think that a company would be organized, but as we know,
that ain't the case.
It's companies that are not organized.
I don't want you to get in trouble with your job, so.
Yeah.
But definitely, so you think it's a little racism there?
Yeah.
In some ways? Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I don't.
Not necessarily at this job, but in other jobs.
Yeah, because it has happened to me consistently in every job that I've been to in corporate. Yeah. Been, in a corporate job. And I honestly may not think that it's always done on purpose. It's just that usually where I'm at, I'm the minority, and that, those people who aren't necessarily my color, they have people that are their color with them, and those people, help each other out, and connect with each other more than they connect with me. So end up getting the bad end of the stick without anybody giving you.
So as African Americans, you just feel like we don't necessarily get the same preferential treatment in the workforce as those in the majority.
When you say preferential treatment,
like nobody's trying to help you out, to be preferred, to be treated in a preferred manner.
Yeah, and it's almost down to just common courtesy that if I was bringing somebody into a new system, I would give them everything that I know or teach them everything that I know about that position.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in that, I don't know if that's racist, but you know, in the corporate America, you don't want nobody to be better than you and get your money.
Well, and that's the thing.
That's true.
People are job scared, but when you're in a team setting where you're forced to work with people, then that person being strong actually takes weight off you. So it's kind of a thing where the team could work more efficient if you weren't job scared, you know. But the racism comes in when the same person who is less qualified than me comes into the same position, and I see you offer him everything. So that doesn't. You may not be job scared.
And you had a situation where you saw somebody else come in the same position, and they were a lot more helpful.
Exactly.
And they were white.
It was they were white. It was
Okay.
actually where I asked for a certain thing, and this person told me that, you know, okay,
It had to be done this hard way, but it was easy. It didn't have to be done that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
No, and I mean, I have, that was, it's crazy because that was one of the things that, the frustrations that I experienced this week too it's race and work. And it's like, I am.
Possibly. Y'all
Possibly,
gotta say
right?
possibly.
It's possibly.
Y'all
You
on this
don't
show
know
getting
this.
fired, man. We need them tithes and offerings.
Exactly. No, but I mean, possibly. Like for me, I can agree with Stefan. I have an instance where I work in the laboratory setting, and I have I've been, you know, I have medical background training and all those things. And when I got to my job, it just was so painstakingly difficult to get information, to make a way, to create systems to get, you know, information passed down. But this girl, this little teeny bopper under me, named, you know, she's white and young. Markedly younger. Yes, I am young, but she's younger, way younger than me. Came in and everybody's like, yeah, she just has such excellent potential, and we just see so much. And I was thinking, what? I have other people that are on my staff. I have a lot of staff that are of color as well, that have more experience. They have the degrees. They have the knowledge.
Performing well?
They're performing excellently, but I don't know why they weren't considered, and she was, for a supervisory role. And I'm like, she's got less experience, less education. She lacks the experience.
Is it possible that she could? I mean, I know racism in the workplace exists, but just giving people the benefit of the doubt just for the mental exercise.
Yes.
Okay, is it possible that she will accept a lesser pay because she's younger? Because sometimes corporate America is just thinking, you know, this 20-year-old will take a lesser pay as an entry-level job than all these people with these degrees. All these people with these degrees means we got to pay you
degree money.
That's true. Right.
That's
experience
true.
And all that costs.
Yeah.
That's true. Now,
so is it a position where, you know, you don't necessarily need those degrees,
right?
And then we could save some money.
Yes, under the table, a little less.
Yeah, not just under the table, just
period. We pay you less.
Just less, right? So I think, I think it's number one. You have to sometimes, as a Christian, racism is tough.
Yes.
I went to an all-black church most of my life, but my true leadership skills really were culminated at a majority white church.
Yes,
my pastor, Pastor Howard Konite, is a white man and a powerful. He's such a sweet man.
Sweet.
He has a heart for Africans and African Americans.
Yes, he does.
Both home and not just on the mission field.
It's true.
Okay?
It's true.
Because there's a difference. A lot of white Christians will celebrate Africans, you know, in foreign lands,
Abroad,
but not necessarily here in the United States.
Yeah.
But being on his staff at a predominantly white church confirmed a lot regarding Christianity.
Okay.
And it's tough because as African Americans, we can be racist ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't make it right, you know, because we've experienced so much, but we can really be racist.
Yeah.
I remember going at church. I was on staff at this point, and a lovely old lady came to me. She was at least in her 90s, and she said, Reverend Durham, I just think it's so great that as a colored woman, you have an education. And I said,
Colored woman.
She just called me colored. It's 2000 and such and such. It was like 2008, 2009 at that point. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
You know, I just think it's so wonderful that you have an education. And I almost lost it. And I just smiled and I said, amen, sister. You know, maybe she's senile or something. Later, I found out that her concern in her life is that she never learned to read. Not every white person is privileged.
That's true.
And not every white person was raised privileged.
That's true.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Some of them were raised as sharecroppers and had to, you know, when we were emancipated and had to get our land, they were right beside us just trying to make it. Not in every case, but in some cases.
Yes, ma'am.
And she was just excited at the idea that I had an education where she always wanted to learn to read and did not. That's something that we don't talk about.
It's true.
And had I just snapped and went off and got offended, it probably would have turned out a different way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think sometimes we forget that, and we don't, as Christians, we are responsible as Christian believers to really kind of check it before we respond. The Bible tells us to have temperance.
Yes.
You know, some kind of emotional control.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of temperance at that point gave me enough getaway to evaluate it.
Yeah.
And I say that because I went to an all-white university. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs.
And at UGA,
Yes, ma'am.
as a minority, I chose the University of Georgia versus an HBCU because I was always in black schools. I'm going somewhere with this. You know, I was always in black schools, always in black elementary, black middle, and black high schools. I mean, wonderful schools, okay? The schools I went to, they were phenomenal. Benjamin E. Mays, shout out to Mays alum. A wonderful educational program. I was surrounded and mentored by black lawyers, black doctors, black politicians, you know, you name it. So it was never just, black to me didn't mean less than. It didn't mean somehow inferior. It was always, I was always raised to know that African Americans were sometimes supreme, okay?
Got it.
Whereas some of my black friends that were raised in the country, they always thought something was wrong to be black, and that wasn't my experience. I say all that to say I choose University of Georgia because the rest of the world doesn't really operate in a black bubble.
Correct.
So I started going to University of Georgia because I wanted to know what's it like to be out in the regular world, you know, and not in my little Atlanta bubble. And I got some rude awakenings, really, about what it meant to be black in the majority is white. And overall, I think it's always a point of how relatable people are. I chose these universities because I wanted to be able to understand other people. I understood black people, okay? I got the black people, okay? Check, okay? What about other people?
Yeah.
And I think at jobs, at work, it all boils down to the reason why you're not preferred, and the reason why, in my opinion, one of the major reasons, outside of just oppressive racism, but those covert things, those little sneaky, kind of just not equal, underhanded stuff that current that we always feel, is just people aren't relatable. You don't know my life. You can't relate to my life. You can't relate to my black parents. You can't relate to my black home. You can't, you know, and I can't relate. God, I'm about to burn this oil again. I keep taking it off the pot because I'm not going to burn it. I can't relate to your white experience. And so because I can't relate, then I have biases.
Yeah.
You know, church is one of the most segregated places in America. And it's also because we don't seem to relate to people who don't have a lifestyle that is similar to ours.
That's good.
And so we just keep ourselves in a bubble. Social media is supposed to open us up to so many people, but instead we end up picking what we're comfortable with.
And do.
And because we keep picking that, it kind of it doesn't do us good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We end up picking what we're comfortable with. We go to church what we're comfortable with. We go to work where we're comfortable. Unfortunately, we get to work and we're like, okay, I need this job. I may not be comfortable. This may not be my majority. But I do think most of the covert things or what we consider underhanded is just a lot to do with not being relatable.
That's good, Pastor.
Not being able to relate, and they can't relate to you.
Yeah.
You know, their reference point could be something completely not who you are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Black people are like this. Well, not every black person is like that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Black people should do this. Well, not every black person can do that.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And so, most of it is just not being able to relate with somebody's story. And so we end up ostracizing people and having our own biasness because we just can't relate. Christians.
Highlight there.
Okay,
Yes,
Christians.
there we go, right?
According to Paul, are supposed to become all things that we may win all people. So we're supposed to look for ways to get to know other people's stories
Yeah.
so that we could relate more to them.
Ooh, Pastor, that's tough.
Right.
That's tough.
Right. So I have no solution on how they could stop treating you poorly. But I do have a solution on how you could stop treating somebody else poorly. Because whether we realize it or not, as African Americans, our biasness creep into how we treat other cultures as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Comments, what y'all think?
I got
Go ahead,
a couple
Stefan.
things in that.
Go ahead.
Well, one thing, I probably ain't gonna be able to move past this quickly, but when you are, being nice to keep that job, and you feeling this covertness, you don't want to be shucking and jiving. You want to stand up and have some sort of respect for yourself when you feel blatantly disrespected. And it's like, well, where do I find the balance in between standing up for myself when this disrespect is coming so blatantly? I'm gonna blatantly stand up for myself, and I'm gonna match what you're putting out, And sometimes we do have to, choose our words wisely or play our cards right in how we do things. But, just from a Christian standpoint, when you do want to, treat people better and watch how you treat people, where's the line between shucking and jiving and standing up in a respectful way for yourself and not getting ran over? I mean, that's good.
That's good, Pastor. Let me tell you, because I had a similar situation this week. I'm telling you, this week was like what is going on? There was an incident that happened, and it's literally the same example of where do you draw the line as a Christian? Because I am an African American, and I do have this heritage, but when is it? Do I not say something here, or when do I advocate, knowing that this is outright racial? So we had an instance where a patient came into our parking lot, and we have one of my parking lot guys, staff again. Majority of my staff is of color, and he was directing the gentleman. He was a white gentleman who came in the wrong way. So he was waving the guy, sir, please, you're coming the wrong way. The guy responds to him and tells him, I can do whatever I want to do. Called him a nigger and flashed his gun at him. So it was a really serious situation. And so in the middle of it, it's, out of it, I'm at the background, I was trying to be like, this is just plain racial. Like there's no way to put this any other way.
Yeah.
So this employee, we've never had any problems out of him. He's not overly aggressive. He's not done anything ever like this. And so he was doing his job. No, they were saying that he shouldn't have went up and waved at the man's car. And I was like, he was yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen this happen before too.
Yeah. And it's like, so I was outraged. Like, he's an excellent employee. He shows up every day dedicated. He does his job well. And he was doing his job. As a matter of fact, the man was doing his job. He came in through the exit. So he was waving the man down, and they're like, well, why would he be waving his hands and shouting? Because they replayed the videos. I'm like, because he was going the wrong way.
Right.
So I mean, but that in me, it sparked. I have this unction of, I want to speak up on his behalf. I won't allow this to go down because he is a man of color. And that was my preference. Like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to go to bat for this guy because he is a hard worker. He is a man of color. Heck, it could be my brother, my nephew, my uncle, anybody in this position.
Right.
So I'm going to speak up.
Right.
That was my thought. But then at the same time, it's like, I am a saint. So I'm a Christian. So where do I draw the line of I'm doing too much on the side of the racial part,
Right.
even though that's valid, but at the same token, understanding, trying to be diplomatic and understand both sides and see the perspective. So it's just tough.
Okay, so
Man, I got one in that same.
go ahead, Devon.
So, speaking up. So.
And JDZ, I saw your comment about flesh and blood. I'm gonna get to that next because that's a great point.
So
Go ahead.
speaking up for people, man, I got into a racial situation. I was called racist, and black people, we can't be racist. I'm gonna just say we can't be racist.
that is a reality.
So the thing isn't just pointing the finger; it's just what we deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So this is a scenario. So we enforce Code of Federal Regulations, and people don't like people who enforce rules.
Correct. That's our
a
nature.
guy comes into our office. We have a white supervisor. I'm black, and this guy's black. The guy comes in and he says, "Hey man, I don't mess with your boy out there. He be doing too much." One of our people that was on our team has offended this black guy. He said, "I don't mess with your boy." So my white supervisor says, he's from Alabama, LA, Lower Alabama. You're not gonna come in this office using those type of words, no racial slurs. He has a name. You're gonna call him by his name. And I'm like, racial slurs? He was like, yeah. When the dude walked out, he was like, yeah. He come in and call him a boy.
Yeah, I mean, typically that would really tick us off.
I said, well, this is my white supervisor. A black guy came in and said, I don't mess with your boy.
I know, but we would normally find that is, if a white man called us a boy, we would say it's racial.
And this is where I had to explain to him. I said, when he said your boy means my homie in black black talk.
Right.
I was like, he didn't say that boy like belittling him boy here. I was like, I told him, hey, there's a difference when somebody is saying boy and your boy. I even wrote it on the board. I wrote B-O-Y and then I wrote Y-A-B-O-I. I was like, your boy is slang. He wasn't using a racial term. So we go to, we have a meeting. And he says it again. He says, yeah, employee name, I don't want to put him out there, came into the office using a racial slur. And I'm like, Joe, I thought we talked about it. He wasn't really being racist. So I'm standing up for this black guy because it's like, I don't even care if this dude was black, purple, blue. If you're going to lie about somebody in front of a group of people, that's not cool. Don't defame nobody in front of a group of people. So I'm saying that he's not using the same word. I had a conversation with this man 3 times. We even went to a back room and I wrote your boy on the paper again. He says, oh, I get it. I don't know what I was thinking. So maybe a month later, right? So I get a promotion. I'm the lead of the project. My boss comes out and says, yeah, you got this new promotion, but one thing we need to talk about, you can't be a racist. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, Joe told me, recently that you stood up for a derogatory remark one of the employees came in the office and said. And I was like, so he told you that I was being racist.
See?
And the thing is, I set him down 3 times and told him that there's a difference between these 2 words.
Yeah.
And my boss at this time was white, and she still didn't get it. It just wouldn't go through. She was like, well, anyway, nobody doesn't need to be calling anybody out of their names or being racist. And I'm like, man, I can't believe this is what teed me off. This is what grinding my gears is that I pulled this man to the side so many times when I had hard conversations with him, but he didn't want to have that hard conversation with me. He would rather paint me as a racist behind my back, versus having a hard conversation with me.
Well, so, I don't think it was about the conversation. I think he wanted to make a point. If it was the word nigger or nigger, he would have made the same point. Like, what's up, my nigger? Versus that nigger over there. N-I-G-G-A, N-I-G-G-E-R. boy, then everybody needs to get in trouble for him. That was his tactic the whole time. It had nothing to do with not understanding. It had everything to do with what the tactic was.
That's good.
And what's crazy is those other guys, the white guys in the office, use the word boy all the time. You know, they use the word boy, you know, yeah, he's a good boy. He's a good old boy.
Right.
Never reported them or never said anything to them.
Good old boy.
Yeah. So,
Well-
it's we deal with it, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? The thing
yeah.
is, we wake up in the morning and we clock in, and I know, like, you know, our perception can be off sometimes,
Yeah.
but you feel it.
It's not just our perception. And getting to Jay Deezy's point, is it flesh and blood at that point? When we have to start dealing with racism, are we moving it into flesh and blood? So let's go back to your original question was, Bishop, my dog, over here, not in the kitchen, okay, loves lamb. I am currently cooking lamb. And it is driving him crazy. So that's that's his noise. Okay, he loves lamb.
He loves lamb.
Yorkies have bad allergies. They shouldn't eat domesticated meats, but they can eat more wild meats, like lamb and bison and stuff like that. So his dog food has lamb in it. So he smells lamb. He's like, "Give it to me. Go away. I'm busy." But yeah, it's cooking now. That meat is searing up.
It smells good.
So good.
What I've done is I'm trying to take it out right when it gets a little, mostly done and a little pink left, because I got to recook it with the veggies. So you don't want to get it too done. But going back to the point, when do you stand up for yourself, or when do you play the game?
Yeah.
You know, and I think we have a difference between. And then you said the other one was, when do we start giving back to them what they're giving us? Okay, now, vengeance. Vengeance is the Lord's. As believers, vengeance is the Lord's. I don't think it's anything wrong with standing up for yourself, standing up for another coworker, standing up for what is not racism, and making that very firm. Meekness is power controlled, okay?
Yes.
So, you know, I think it's perfectly fine standing up, making a stance, taking a stance on anything, any type of injustice. That's what Christians do.
Yeah.
We stand for injustice,
Yes.
right? Now, how far you go into that, when you start moving into vengeance, or if you start moving into self-sacrifice, if you start moving into vengeance, and you need to let the Lord handle that. Being petty, trying to give it back to them the way they gave it to you.
Yeah.
That is not cool. But making a firm stance, I think, is good. You know what I mean? Standing firmly and saying, this is not right. Talking to the manager over and over and over again, I think is good. Telling them, I stand with my employee here. That's good. Start handling them the way they handle you, not good. All right. Christian line has to be drawn there. And then, let's say you're a political advocate or activist, or you really start recognizing there's so many things that I just don't like, and you want to start sacrificing self in order to really fight for justice. I think that is definitely needed in the body of Christ, but it also has to be spirit-led.
That's
All
good.
right? What you guys think about that?
I think that's good, and that actually answered a question of mine, because I was like, man, this situation has put such a fire. I'm like, I need to be like better out here and getting the, you know,
Getting in good trouble.
getting in good trouble.
Good trouble.
Getting into some good trouble.
Like Representative Lewis.
Yes. Come on. You know, just like you do want to stand for injustice, but like you just make plain, Pastor, which is good, you got to be spirit led in that. Now, whether I'm being spirit led in that, I don't know. I'm just saying, I know that it was a passionate situation, and I wanted to do what I felt like. I was like, Lord, lead me in what's right to do for him. But then, like I said, it's just like so much bottled up, because we do experience as African Americans so much oppression. You do experience, you know, like you said, it's the feeling, it's the tension, and you know, just getting some of that out is you answered it really well, Pastor. Thank you.
Okay, that's good.
I got some reservations, Pastor.
I can tell. Why don't he give me the evil eye? Like whatever.
Okay, I can admit that in the past I did operate in some vintage. I'm gonna give you that same energy that you gave me, and I repent for that. You know what I'm saying? And I have also seen in the case where I didn't give back that same, vibe, and later on down the line, that person spent up. Our relationship turned great after a while because I didn't, treat them how I wanted to treat them or how I felt they were treating me. But my reservation comes, Pastor, with the. So when you're in the midst of amongst your peers, I know this may be a little ego in here and all. There is a long job ahead of you, and once somebody kind of punk you out, disrespect you in front of the group, you lose all sorts of credibility as
street
a leader.
cred.
Right.
And it's like now that you're being humble in the situation, now you lost something. You may gain something of value, as a Christian inside, but as far as you being able to do your job effectively or how you see effective, now it is damaged because as a leader, people see you in this type of light.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want you to take the meat.
Okay.
Stop touching stuff. You can have
We're trying to say,
How'd it turn out?
Perfect.
Is it good?
Yes.
that's great.
Flavor, savory.
Let's go into a good place. Let's go into a good place. Okay, cool. Cool.
This is really good.
That's
Yeah.
excellent.
But I think it's a touchy subject for me, Pastor.
Yeah.
It's a touchy subject because
I
I
see
did.
you are really upset by this.
I had a lot happen. So
It could be overwhelming to have to play the game and to have to judge and balance that in between your love for God. And I can't, for anybody, nobody likes to be humbled, humiliated, mistreated, or abused. And I can imagine for a man, especially a black man in this day and age, that's got to be horrible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not right, but women have a better experience about being less than and treated less than. We're raised into it, born into it, and constant.
It's true.
A man is taught that he should be able to be able to stand with his chest proud and his head high.
Yeah.
die for your respect.
Yeah,
From the
yeah,
hood, they be
yeah.
like, die for your respect.
Die for your
You
respect,
should be
right.
Die for your respect, but, ain't working. And take that disrespect and live.
Right. So that tends to be a little bit. I can only imagine how uncomfortable
It is.
that really is. That really is. But that's when you really have to pull on the Father, because certain systems of the world and fallen systems of the world aren't changing anytime soon. And you still have a job to do.
That's true.
You still have a call to live up to. You still have, I don't see many comments on Facebook. I hope they're getting our feed. It says they're online, but I don't see them commenting. I hope it's working. Isn't that weird?
It is.
Want us to check it?
Yeah, can you check? Anybody got their phone? You want to check it for me? What do you guys think? So, like, if you look at things racially, wouldn't it obscure seeing what is really going on spiritually? I don't know if it obscures it. That's a great question, because I don't know if it obscures it. I think that sometimes Christians aren't called to live in an alternative reality. We're called to live in this reality. And so being in the world, but not of the world, is a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, you still have to be in the world, just not of the world. So dealing with these types of things, seeing it from a physical standpoint. Remember when Christ tells us to serve people, we got to feed the hungry. We got to clothe the clothesless. You know what I mean? And then from that point, healing the sick, restoring people, then opens up an avenue to hear the gospel. So if you cannot relate to the reality that is present, then people aren't going to want to hear about this Jesus that you speak so highly of, because the fallen world is just that. It can really put a hold on you where just getting through the day is hard. You know what I mean? Getting through the day. Believe it or not, getting through the day is hard. And when that starts to happen, people need assistance in that day. The blind need to see, the lame need to walk, the deaf need to hear. And while this may not answer all the problems of the world, it answers that person's problem. And I think not seeing things for what they really are in our world, in the physical, and only seeing them in the spiritual, won't allow us to communicate the gospel as effectively.
That's really good.
You know what I mean?
Good.
I don't know, cuz, what you think? Give me some feedback on that. What do you think about that? Because I think that's a huge deal. I think Christians go one or two ways. We get so spiritual that we don't really deal with anything in the natural, or we get so natural and carnal that we really don't move in the spirit.
Yeah.
You know, the spirit does not obscure, or the natural doesn't obscure the spiritual. The natural reveals the spiritual, you know, and it helps to shed light on
That's
it.
really good,
You know,
Pastor. Yeah.
but you still have to be wise and cunning to be able to minister the gospel to people that are feeling disenfranchised, and African Americans that are tired of, you know, taking it on the chin and tired of playing the game. You got to not only know what that is, you have to be aware of it. You have to have empathy, you know, for them. I think that's a big deal. What you guys think?
No, that's real. You hit the nail on the head, because where else is the hope gonna come from?
That's
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
if you repay evil with evil, then
That's right.
you know what's gonna move? Nothing is gonna happen. And I think, you know, as Christians, we are called to, you know, to be change agents, and sometimes it's gonna come with, you know, humility and taking it on the chin, but it's for Christ.
Yeah.
That's right. I think how we respond to a problem that we definitely see is important, but not responding, ignoring it, and calling it spirituality is never the answer. You know, how we respond with Christ is what the world needs to see, not a lack of response. Yeah. But great points, great comments. Were we on the Facebook? Did you check?
People are doing comments this morning.
I don't see any of the comments. Oh my goodness. I don't see any of you guys' comments on
what's
Facebook.
wrong?
I am so sorry, guys. Let me try to pull it up some kind of way. Hold on.
And you know, today I automatically assume that, I'm gonna admit, in my own mind, I just look at all black people like they came from poverty.
That's not true. That is
I
not
automatically
true.
assume that we all came from the hood together. I was talking to a dude today. I was like, man, you know what? Being in this situation, being black, one thing it did, it humbled me and it taught me to appreciate having less than, and people, you know, born with the golden spoon in their mouth. Man, you really got to pray for them, because what's on the inside ain't gonna qualify you for it. And I'm talking, and this dude says, well, I wasn't necessarily struggling for anything when I was born as a black guy. And he's like, you know, I have a gold spoon, but I definitely had a silver spoon. So I'm thinking like, dang, I automatically assume all of us from the hood. All of us ain't from the hood.
He's not from the hood.
That is so true. And I think Jewel is a great example.
Yes, she is.
I was actually going to say that. Definitely being from College Park. Oh, nasty. Oh,
College Park.
Folks, where y'all at?
College.
No, it's terrible, because even when I'm in College Park, even when I lived there, people they would say, where are you from? You sound like you're from LA. You sound like you're from California. You sound like a Valley girl. And I was like, no, I'm from right here. Where? Down the street? Oh, no. Like, actually impossible. You know, they would believe me. But yeah, I definitely grew up, you know, in College Park. But my whole experience was totally different.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Banneker, but I went to Woodward.
Yeah, I mean, you were lived in the hood, but you weren't raised in the hood.
No, I wasn't raised in it.
It's a difference.
Neither was I. I was raised in Swats, but my parents didn't let me have to live that hood life. Sister Glenda said that it's true that people can't take advantage if you give advantage. And that is a statement that we use a lot at our church about being so full of Christ where you can have more empathy. You can take more than what a normal person could take because you can get replenished by God.
Yes.
And remembering the reward is that vengeance is the Lord's. He's not looking at it going, oh, well, you just got to suffer. He's like, oh, you just wait. You just wait till I get down there and I said all this right. You just wait. I'm coming down there. I'm going to set it right. And that is the mindset that we have to surrender, that God will and will take it to the judgment at the time that he deems necessary. At the time that he deems necessary.
I got a question about that, Pastor. Because sometimes it feels like when it comes to vengeance being the Lord's, it just seems like he takes a long time, a little longer than I would hope. And so, what do you do in the meantime? And to
Everybody
avoid-
thinks that because, nobody wants to endure bad stuff long. So,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
it's always going to feel like it's too long.
Right.
I got
A
a
minute,
question after that.
2
too.
minutes, 2 hours,
Yeah.
2 decades, 400 years of slavery, too long.
Yeah.
Too long, too long, too long, too long, too
Reparations.
long.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always going to
Sorry.
feel that way. And the role of the believer is to see God's hand in the most difficult aspects of life and not just the ones you enjoy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Pastor. Now
Yeah.
you just
Okay.
said
The
something
believer,
there.
can you see
Okay.
his hand in the hardest points?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, I was talking to somebody today. They were like, Pastor, I don't know why this stuff is going wrong in my life. It's just like nothing is working. And he said, I don't know, because God, it just seems like God could just make it better. Like, why does he just make it better? And I said, well, at some point we start to recognize I started following Christ not because he was my genie in the bottle.
Yeah. That's good.
I follow him not because he can make everything right.
Yeah.
I follow him because even when it's wrong, I'd rather have him when it's tough than not have him at all.
That's so good.
That's
So good.
we keep thinking that Jesus meant save me from everything and every
Right.
discomfort and every pain. But the goal of Christ dying was that God can be with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
God who dwells among you. The kingdom of heaven is God within man.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. Not everything I'm going to make it better for you, perfect. Yeah, that's coming. It's called heaven and then the new earth. It's not here. The purpose of Christ now in our hearts is that we have him with us when things are horrible and the racism is running rampant and this and the degradation and all of that is just beyond what we could handle. We have him in these rough situations. Not necessarily we have him so he could be the genie of our magic lamp.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's good. That's
Man,
good.
Pastor, you talking good. Because as much as as one of the, you just hit on something that made me think, dang, I could have had a better perspective about this. Because I'm with Jewel. Like, Lord, we've been, I'm born black. So the people before me, they slaves. They, you know what I mean? Like, it's so many years of oppression. When will we see some kind of,
So good.
some kind of great just stride of change? Because we just still feel like how we feeling. But you painted such a beautiful picture, and all I could see is like the black church and how. Look at
I was like, oh.
Bazooka bust.
Flavor.
Sorry, Daddy, you was talking. You
No,
didn't get none.
it's okay.
Girl, it's good, girl. It's good.
It's real good. But no, Pastor, I seeing the black church in that, like, I just could hear and just see the hope of what made us a people is that the black community, we flourish throughout the black church.
Yeah.
And the ability for us to be in that amount of pain together and community and to come together and to pray and to get through it.
It seemed like our Christianity flourished under pressure, is what you're trying to say. Under bad situations, the black church was better, closer connected to God when things were horrible than when they're not so horrible.
Yes.
Now we're like, we ain't gotta go to church. I can zoom it. I can zoom it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Jewel, your cousin Cheryl said, hey.
Hey, cousin Cheryl. Hey, girl. Hey. I had you on.
I re-added some sesame oil and this is a little fresh ginger I'm gonna add to this. I put the lamb back in with the veggies. So in a minute I'm gonna add the noodles once I start them. And I got the water boiling. I need to get the noodles cooking. We're using brown rice noodles. So a little pad thai kind of noodle. A little thick, it's wide, and it's flat. It's gonna be good. I also got some Szechuan chili peppers and oil that I'm gonna add to this. All right, right on top of this lamb. Go ahead. Okay, so y'all is really into this topic.
Man,
Y'all want to talk about nothing else?
you start talking about hard times.
Hard
You start talking about hard times.
We all identify that.
Yeah, be acting up during hard times. But one thing I did want to add is that you're going through these hard times, and now you're dealing with your own reactions, your own. I mean, you're exercising your coping mechanisms against God. You know what I'm saying?
Come on,
Right.
man.
Like,
Come on,
it's God that got you in the
Come on.
situation, but you tensing up
You
from
tensing
God.
up from God. Come on, man.
That's good, bro.
You're tensing up from God. You've got so many triggers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many triggers of past drama, so many triggers of slavery, so many triggers of racism, so many triggers of somebody hurting you, that now you're tensing up with God.
Acting out and everything.
One person you're supposed to open your heart to and accept.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, no. If that's what God wants, then no, I'm not doing it. I'm not for it. And His mercy just finds us.
Yeah.
That's that
It
thing.
finds us, man. It finds us,
You
man.
get to know God like that during your foul, funky situation.
Yes.
When you're acting
Yes.
up
Setting
and
up.
the situation bad, but you're getting to know a loving, a merciful, forgiving God when you acting all outrageous and still at the end of the day, you get to feel His presence when you didn't even deserve it.
100%.
So good.
100%. That's a great point. Tense up with God. So busy being triggered that you are now tensing up with the Father Himself. That's a great point, Stephon.
Man.
That is.
That's good.
I was doing it. I'm struggling here. I'm struggling in these hard times.
Nah, cause you don't be wanting to go through that.
Tanoa says you have to go through things in order for Him to use you for someone else, not always for you.
That's
Come on,
good.
cuz.
That's
Come
good.
on.
Tanoa.
That's my cousin right there. That's my cousin.
Preach, Elder Sherry
Shit, I'm
Jones.
telling you.
That's Mother Bell.
That Mother Bell.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Tanoa.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. It is for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's for somebody else.
Yeah, you gotta, sometimes you gotta go through something for somebody else. You know, I think that is profound when it comes to slavery, when it comes to the Jim Crow laws,
Yeah.
when it comes to us, when it comes to this generation, families, single parents, single moms, single dads, some of the challenges in that, some of the challenges in moving out of the hood, some of the challenges, you know, and going pro and then having injury, you know, it's just wanting to be a doctor and then changing that, you know. I think those hard times gives you an opportunity to be able to express it to somebody else. Come on, cuz.
Come through.
Sister Glenda says, does defending the gospel and Christ have room for me defending myself?
No.
No. No, it does not. But defending yourself and standing up for truth are two different things. Okay? There may not be the same. You should stand for truth because God is true. All right? But standing up for yourself just for the fact that it's self-preservation is not the Christian move. Okay?
She's not gonna get you that.
It's not gonna get you. It's not gonna get you.
Okay, so guys, I am going to turn on the oven.
Wait a minute.
Okay, for our dessert. I know.
Oh my God, dinner
I
and
hope
dessert.
I can get this done in time. Hold on. Cook, cancel, bake. Go ahead, somebody else. While I do that.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that I definitely can see in my own life, and Pastor even brought it up about just, you know, going through something and in particular being a professional. And now on the back end of being retired, getting to talk to young pros and young players who have those same aspirations and really dealing with the same types of things that they dealt with.
Yeah.
You know, am I going to make it? You know, am I too much in my head? You know, when it comes to, you know, dreaming about going pro or even just the journey to getting there. What does that journey look like? And in your own journey, you remember the struggle. You remember the pain. You remember going through. But in that moment that you're speaking with them, you're encouraging them, you know, and they're looking
When
at
you went through it, it was tough.
Yes.
Okay. Bring us home. Everybody ate at athletes.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
few of us is professional athletes.
Gross.
Right.
Shelf it for us, you all. Okay.
Yes, so as a former professional tennis player, I played tennis all my life and played collegiately and then played professionally. Now I'm on the back end of coaching, and you know that journey to becoming a professional player, you deal with so many things. You deal with the injuries, like we see with Tiger Woods, like making his comeback right now in the Masters, right? You deal with the mindset, you know, the am I going to make it? You know, my parents have put everything into this, you know, everything. People, you know, sell their homes. People
But did
move.
you think? I'm sorry, Julie.
Yes, go ahead, Pastor. Thank you. Help me, because I go on and on.
Okay, talk to us realistically.
Yeah.
Okay, not the camera.
Yeah.
What are you trying to tell us about the struggle?
So it's a difficult journey, and when you're in the struggle, you want to quit. You question everything
Okay,
about it.
But you quit.
Right.
Oh, so you're saying that there's a time
when you then get the opportunity to help somebody else.
Yes.
And not only helping them, but helping them get past where you were.
Did you even know that you having to end your professional career would yield that?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Ooh, yeah,
Because in the
that's
end, you
good.
feel like a failure.
Yeah.
Correct.
You do. You feel like when I struggled with this and it didn't go right, that, and I have had that. I have fallen into sin as an adult Christian. In leadership, not pastoring, okay, but prior to pastoring, but in Christian leadership, there are other hierarchies. I fell into sin and I felt like God would never use this. This is the most biggest, worst thing ever. One, I thought God would never use me again. And then two, when he did use me, I was like, that was such a regret. It's not till now did I see how my past mistakes help so many more people.
Wow, Pastor.
And I never would have thought. I was like, I wish I could. I regret everything about my sin. I regret everything about how I stayed in sin for too long. I regret, and now I'm just now at the point as a pastor seeing how many people I have to minister to go, you know what? It was worth it. I'm just now at the point where I'm like,
Wow.
it was worth it. One or
Wow.
two, no. But like constant, and the effectiveness to be able to relate, I can say, yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it. It took a long time to even see how that much pain could be worth it. Yeah, go ahead.
Even right now, like, you know, we're, you know, being able to talk and be real with you because of those experiences.
Yes.
And I think that's what, you know, keep us a lot of us here at Renew is because you can speak to a real situation. It's one thing just looking from the outside looking in and then instructing somebody on what to do, but once you actually been through that thing, the words that you say hit a little bit harder, and you're like, man, you do know how I feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Okay, guys, so I'm going to attempt to do a little dessert really quick.
Woo-hoo.
I already prepped this. Okay, so we are making, I don't know if she is watching tonight. Oh, I forgot. It's Eris's birthday. She's probably not able to watch. Happy birthday, Eris. I made this with Janiyah in mind, my personal little cookie monster. I miss you, sweetie. But these are, I prepped these. These are Nutella stuffed chocolate cookies. And what I did is I already prepped the dough. It's cocoa or cacao and brown sugar, flour, butter, salt.
Homemade.
Homemade.
Okay.
Homemade. So I already prepped the dough, and you just put that in there, and you take another piece and you cover it.
Wait a
So the
minute.
goal of these Nutella stuffed cookies
Wait a
is
minute.
that they even after they cool, they stay warm and gooey as you open them. I know.
Today, come on.
Okay, when I made the first, you know, and then you kind of pinch the sides to cover the Nutella. Okay? That's pretty much the whole method.
Man, that's about it.
I know. I made the cookie dough from scratch, and I tasted the cookie dough. It's really good.
It's not a shocker.
And these are Nutella scoops. You just put them in the freezer. Just take plain Nutella, you put them in the freezer
Okay.
to get it, and then that way when you bake it, it gets all gooey and stays put. And then you just cover that bad boy up, pinch it down so it doesn't come gooey out the sides.
Look at that. Come on.
But
Nutella wasted.
Yes.
Oh, when I tell you, I tried one, and they are decadent. So this is what I'll do. I'll let you have your dessert first.
What?
Wait a minute.
I made these. I already baked some.
Wait a minute.
I cannot believe you.
I baked some in advance, so you could have one before dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, because these aren't going to be ready in time, but I wanted everybody to see these are Nutella stuffed cookies. And I made them for Hanaya, from my personal little cookie monster. You guys get the benefit. I thought of her as I made these. She always likes my fresh baked cookies. So go ahead. Now they're dusted with sea salt. So it's going to be, yeah. So get one, break it open in front of the camera so they can see the gooiness.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Can you see that? Let me see. Can you see that? Look at that. Look at that gooiness in there. All right, taste it. Let me see what you think.
Oh my God.
You made this was great.
I told you I had a rough week, man. I had to double down. Satan was trying to come for me this week, man. I had to double down with some love, okay?
These
Jesus.
are
Delicious.
great.
They're perfect.
These are Tony the
Perfect.
Chocolate great.
Do you like
I
that?
love chocolate. Yes.
Oh,
Oh my
good.
God, this is so good.
Describe them to our viewers so they'll know.
It's like chocolatey, warm, like a brownie almost, but like gooey on the inside.
Brownie. That's
Brownie
exactly
on the outside,
right.
gooey on the inside,
Right.
with that little sea salt crunch. Oh,
And the fudge,
Yeah.
the Nutella. It's like a nice surprise. You bite into it,
Delicious.
like, oh, Nutella.
it's
Perfect.
I'm gonna let them do the talking.
It's perfect.
Why you do the eating?
Okay, they go in the oven for about 15 minutes. My first batch were huge, as you can see. All right, these are a little smaller, so 15 minutes should be fine. I'll set the timer, then I'm going to take the noodles, drain them, add them to our beef and broccoli, and it'll be time for dinner, guys.
Oh yeah.
So, I just got to the point where my suffering, my mistakes, and my pain has, I can finally tell the Lord if I had to do it all over again. And that's big, because it was really painful.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
That's a big deal, Pastor.
If I had to do it all over again to be able to help this many people,
Yeah.
I do it. I do. And it was, I never thought I'd be able to say that.
Wow.
The pain was so bad. The church hurt. The disappointing of God. All of it was just so bad. Ooh, hot. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all got anything else on
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say it's
that?
interesting.
Y'all getting chocolate wasted. Y'all
We
ain't
are.
gonna-
We really are.
Cookie Monster over here.
I was just gonna say it's almost as if, well, it's not almost as if, but it's more people are in the midst of a struggle, and I never would have thought I would have been able to help so many people by way of the fact that there are so many that don't make it on the
You
tour.
never thought you'd be able to help so many people?
Yes,
With
as
what?
far as just, well, no, just with the tennis route, not any other route.
I was curious.
Just the tennis route.
I'm like, you sounded like you really the minister to the nations, girl.
No,
What
no,
you
no,
got
no,
going
no,
on?
no.
Tell me.
No,
Tell
just
me
the
what
tennis,
you're doing.
just the tennis route, and just encouraging young players.
Yes.
You know, to be able
yes.
to dream, and you know, and helping them with the mindset, and just helping them to know that what they're going through is normal. Because a lot of times in the midst of a struggle, you don't have that person to tell you it's okay. I get it, and this is a very normal feeling, and I've been there, and this was the route that I took. And there's so much comfort in that, and being able to relate to someone like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting the consensus here. Even it's kind of full circle with even the racism topic about
Yeah.
being relatable. You know, it seems like it's key to just try to put yourself in. Just give people the benefit of the doubt sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
You know,
good.
life is hard, you know what I'm saying? And the stuff that we go through, we realize that, man, I done made some messed up mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So why am I gonna be so harsh judging somebody in their learning process too? So it's
Yeah.
like, even just, you know, what I'm just feeling here is being relatable is it's a good tool to have in the bag. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And just lend yourself to being relatable.
Yeah.
So you can be more relatable through your pain,
Yeah.
Mhm.
your
Yeah.
suffering. I think maybe that's why Christ came.
Oh.
Oh, you gonna snap with that? That was a bar. You snap with
That's
that.
good. That's really
You
good.
snap.
That's really
That
good.
he can sympathize with our pain.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't remove a certain aspect of our pain, it's not because he doesn't know how bad it is.
Yeah.
That we can rest assured that it's something he's doing or something he needs to do.
That's
Something he's
good.
doing or something he needs to do. That's why this is now suddenly so painful.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try up one of these these so we can.
I'm too excited about this.
Me too.
This food is so
It's gonna be
good.
so good. Smells good.
Pastor, thank you for
amazing.
making this so. You just broke it down. I mean,
Yeah.
it is that relatability that at the end of the day helps us identify just human with human, and not looking so much on it. Not that we can't, gloss over all the other injustices, but just human to human.
Yeah, you have to be able to relate, and a lot of what we go through is for somebody else. And I think Tanora brought that great point up. We are done with our lamb and broccoli, beef and broccoli,
Look at
however,
that.
whatever you
Yeah.
made today. This is a finished product, so take a look at there. All right. I'm gonna tray up everybody else's. So this is we'll give it to Stefan first. Is the man in the
Okay.
house today?
Maybe we
I'm
want to do
gonna
some
finish.
work.
I'm gonna finish right. I'm gonna finish plating these up for everyone to eat. I had a wonderful time with you all this evening. Have an amazing weekend. Go to somebody's church. It's Palm Sunday this Sunday. Get to somebody's house. Shout hallelujah. Give God glory this Sunday. If you're looking for a church home, you can always come to Renew in Marietta, Georgia. But other than that, have a wonderful weekend. We love you guys. Okay, bye. Y'all want to say bye?
Bye.